Hi everyone, welcome to Law Chat 101. This is Girija, your legal BFF. Today, I'm going to be talking about the contracts that you need if you are hosting a conference and some of the essential clauses as well. So as we're welcoming 2022, there's so many things that are going to be happening in your business. And some of you might be actually venturing into hosting conferences, whether they are virtual or in person or a hybrid. It just doesn't matter. You are hosting a conference, and congratulations, that is awesome. Now, where do we go from there? So I know that there are some amazing services out there for Conference in a Box, or services that help you navigate and quickly put together a conference. And those are awesome services. Now, what I'm going to be talking to you about today, though, is the contracts that you need to make sure that you have already in your conference planner, and then also some of the important clauses that you might need to have as well for those contracts. So number one, the contract that you need is the venue. So if you are hosting it at an actual physical location, you need to have a venue contract with the property that you're hosting at. The contract itself should address the location that you're going to be hosting on their property, what kind of services that they're going to be providing, the timings that they're going to allow you to go in and set up, and how long you can be in the rooms and till what date you can be in the room. So the setup time, the breakdown time, but then also what other amenities are they providing you? Are they giving you drinks, coffee, tea? Are they providing lunch, or do they require you to have lunch, or do they require a certain type of threshold of expenditures with them in order to use their venue? So those conversations are important and necessary as well. And so when you go through those conversations, you're able to really understand what's going to be coming with the venue package. And that way you can see what other areas you need to fill in. But also, before you start doing that, see what you are wanting to provide. Are they going to be giving you, ability to have speakers in the room, or sound ability? Are they going to give you microphones? Are they going to give you all of those technical and logistical things as well? Because if you don't, they need to hire someone who can do that for you, right? So have that conversation with them and know what kind of backdrops that you can have, or if they'll give you a projection or TVs where you can project the conversations that are happening, and whether you can bring a stage in. And so have the clarity of your vision and make sure you communicate that with the venue and see what they can or cannot provide. And then you can fill in the gaps with other vendors. So that takes me to your second contract, the vendor contracts. So the vendor contracts are the contracts with your photographer. They're the contracts with the caterer. They're the contracts with the videographer, or with the DJ, or with other specialty items that are coming in and out, with the florist even. So these are your vendor contracts. And so you need to have one with all of your vendors and have clarity on what they're providing, how long they're providing it for, the duration of it, and what services that they're giving you as well. Because a conference is not just a one-day thing. A conference can last up to 2 to 3, 4 days, if not longer. And so you want to make sure that they have the capacity to fulfill whatever your requirements are, and that they're fulfilling it in a way that is serving the purpose that you are wanting to ultimately deliver to your attendees and everybody else that experience. So have those conversations up front. Number 3 contract that you need is a client or the attendee contract. Those contracts are basically just saying that, hey, you're coming to this conference on so-and-so day. This is what you're going to be getting at the conference. These are the expectations that we have, and the expectations that you should have as well. This is how much the conference is for. This is our rescheduling, our cancellation policies. This is our other policies that we have, and this is what we're going to be giving you and what you should be expecting. So the attendee contract is essentially just telling them that they're coming, that they're signing up for it, and they're paying for it, and what to expect, what dates. And then some of the marketing material can include all that puffery that we like to include. And, I say it in the kindest way because it's the marketing at the end of the day. So what are they going to, get out of this? And where can they stay? What are some ways to get there? So all of that should just be part of the marketing material, not part of the contract itself. The number 4 contract that you want to have is with your educators and with your speakers, the people that are actually going to be coming and making this conference more amazing, right? So the ones that are coming in and sharing their education, their wisdom, their content, everything that they're preparing. So have a contract with them as well, so that they know what their obligations are, what you are expecting out of them, and what they are getting in return for it. And also, if you expect them to be there the whole time, or if you expect them just to be there for the time that they're speaking, and then what their capacity is as a speaker, and what kind of promotions that they're supposed to be doing on their end for the conference itself. Their contract should be laying out all of that information as well. So quick recap, you want to have the venue or the location contract. You want to have the vendor contract. You want to have the attendee contract. You want to have also the speaker or the educator contracts as well. Now, what are some essential clauses that you need in these contracts? So number one essential clause is that you want to make sure you're very clear with who the parties are. And so have that down in your contract as well. Number two, another important clause is the payment. What's the payment? What are the payment plans if you have any? Or if you're compensating anybody for anything, have that in there also. What is the fees? What are the expectations? Number three clause that you want to have is the services that XYZ is providing you, or you are providing XYZ. What are the minimum services that you are giving, and anything that you are not including, but you do give it, it's fine. But what are some of the base things that you are giving and the expectations of what you are receiving as well? Number four, you need to have is the permission to use someone's image or person. So whether it's their voice, their image, or a picture of them, a video of them, but you want to have permission to use it for promotional purposes in the future, but then also for purposes that you might need, just to like showcase your stuff, or for, so promotional marketing purposes, you want to be able to use it on your social media or on other marketing material as well. So have that permission clause in your contract. Is usually called a model permission clause in there. Now, number five clause that you want to have is also the intellectual property. Who owns what? So many educators are coming there. So many speakers are coming there. Do they own their speech at the end of the day? Or do they own the video that you are making of them? Or so who owns what? Because ultimately, if there's no agreement on who owns what, you both own it 50-50. And a lot of times what people don't know is that the copyright ownership is 50-50, and that we're equally dispersed. And then if you make money on it, you have to share that money with them as well. So have the clarity on who owns what intellectual property, trademark, copyright, and how you are going to be using it, and for what purposes. If you are giving a license, then how can that license be used, and in what parameters. So have that clarity of intellectual property ownership. I have seen many contracts out there for conferences, especially for as a speaker, and a lot of times they don't talk about the intellectual property and the ownership of that. So have that clarity, and if you're okay with the 50-50, that's totally fine, but just make sure that you know that that's what's happening. Another clause that's important is the cancellation, rescheduling, and also the force majeure. Now, the force majeure is a separate clause from that, but it's really important to have it in there so that people know what the cancellation policy is, how soon they can cancel, what the refund is, if any, and can they reschedule? Can it roll over? Can it not roll over? How does it work? Or can they change it to virtual if you have a hybrid model? So just be clear on that, and they know when the deadlines are also, and there's no confusion about any of that stuff as well. The seventh clause that's important is the access to the content. What is the access that they have? Is it only during the conference? Is it post-conference also? Do they have access to the videos? And any other type of access that they might have? Is it on some type of a platform like Kajabi, or some other type of situation where they can get access to it? So have the clarity on that, and also later on follow up on it so that they know that they have access, because a lot of times people forget, and then later on they'll be knocking on your door. So just kind of have those follow-up emails and nurturing sequence emails as well for your attendees, and for the speakers if you have something for them as well. And my last and final clause that I'm going to talk about today is the COVID policy as well. You may or may not have something, but if you do have something, put it in there so they're abundantly aware of it and clear about it as well. Now, those are not the only clauses that you need to have in your contract, but they are some of the important ones that you need to have in your contract. Now, like I said before, all the information that I shared in this video today is for educational and for informational purposes only. And if you have any specific questions for your business, go reach out and talk to a lawyer, whether it's me or somebody else, and have that conversation with them to see what you need for your business. I know that this was helpful to you, and so I have a favor. Can you please go subscribe and share with your friends and family and anybody else that can benefit? Tag me on Instagram so that I know that you've done it, and I can retag you and share with the world also that you have shared it. I am just so happy that you've tuned in. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you will tune into more episodes. So make sure you subscribe so you can get all of what's happening in the future. I'll see you then. Bye.